Hey Wisecrack, Jared again. Today we're talking about a film that everyone's loving and nobody's watching, Blade Runner 2049. The central question the original Blade Runner poses is, what makes us human? The sequel continues to meditate on the importance of this question, but instead of retreading the same ground, it proposes something new that is essential to our humanity. And how does it do this? With holographic waifus and weird avant-garde literature. Welcome to this Wisecrack quick take on Blade Runner 2049, and major spoilers ahead. First, a recap. After the events of the original Blade Runner, the world freaked out and banned the production of replicants. However, tensions eventually cool and a new company starts to produce replicants that, to quote Rick Sanchez,
has zero chance of going Blade Runner.
2049 follows K, a replicant hunting Blade Runner and replicant himself. He discovers the skeleton of a replicant that shows signs of having given birth, which should be impossible. Kay is sent in search of the child replicant and discovers the father is a certain Mr. Deckard. Informed by a childhood memory, Kay suspects that he is Deckard's miracle child that would start the replicant revolution. Except, he's not. The memory was implanted by Deckard's real daughter, who finally reunites with her mean old dad. The 1982 classic largely reflects on how attachment to memories, both for mankind and replicants, defines our humanity. Replicants recite poetry and ask all the philosophical questions,
like tears in rain,
while we're shown debased humans who are all drunk and diseased. All of this serves to further blur the distinction between human and replicant. 2049 explores this fuzzy replicant-human distinction in another way, with intimacy and physical connection, or rather the lack of it. The only real relationship Kay experiences is with his holographic girlfriend Joy. Kay tries to make their relationship more real by uploading her to a portable projector, allowing her to free roam. In one of the weirder scenes, Joy projects her image onto a prostitute so they can physically touch. The desire for intimacy is subtly implanted all throughout the film. Neander Wallace, the creator of the new replicants, must feel and touch everything due to his blindness. Deckard's daughter is locked in an isolation chamber and unable to touch the holograms that keep her entertained. There's also a recurring motif of feeling precipitation, as I'll call it. Joy, going outside for the first time, reaches out to feel the rain, but it goes right through her. Replicants wear gloves all throughout the film until Kay removes his own to feel the touch of falling snow. Earlier, Kay's outstretched hand is covered in bees, although to be honest, I'm a little less sure about what the bees represent. We also see a group of orphans collectively touch Kay when he shows up to find the replicant child. And hologram Elvis sings Take My Hand from his song Can't Help Falling in Love after Deckard and Kay beat the hell out of each other. The film's final shot shows Deckard trying to touch his daughter, but they're obstructed by a glass wall. Through this, the importance of touch and connection is seen as innately human. The second way 2049 explores the human-replicant distinction is in its exploration of how memory builds our personal narrative and how fallible that is. See, this is really interesting because whereas the original Blade Runner showed replicants making claims to humanity with memories, 2049 goes further, implying memories alone aren't enough. You might remember the bizarre post-trauma stress test Kay has to go through twice. He sits in a barren room where a disembodied voice keeps saying stuff about a system of cells, while Kay responds with words like interlinked, cells, and dreadfully. This test is ripped straight from Vladimir Nabokov's book Pale Fire. The full excerpt is, a system of cells interlinked within cells interlinked within cells interlinked within one stem, and dreadfully distinct against the dark, a tall white fountain played. Later we actually see Pale Fire in Kay's apartment, and Joy asks him to read it. The premise of Pale Fire is essentially that you've got a poem by a fictional author being analyzed in the footnotes by a fictional commentator. It's a book about a commentary about a poem, essentially bookception. The whole cells interlinked passage details our fictional poet having a heart attack and seeing a vision of a tall white fountain. Later in the poem, he reads about someone else having a near-death experience and seeing the same white fountain. Convinced that this shared vision proves the existence of an afterlife, the poet investigates further, only to discover the line was a misprint and the person actually said White Mountain. Sensing a theme here? These narratives that we build around objects and memories is at the heart of 2049's discussion on what makes a human. Kay's memory of a wooden horse leads him to believe that he is this miracle child.
You're special.
But surprise, he isn't. They are not his memories, they're implants. Just as the fictional poet of Palefire's revelation is shattered after realizing the white fountain was a misprint, Kay's revelation is shattered after realizing the misimprint of a memory. And this is where the themes of intimacy and memory combine. When he's given the choice to help the Resistance by killing Deckard, he refuses. Instead of trusting his memories, he puts his faith in the intimacy and physical connection he yearns for. Thus, he lets this, not memory, guide him to his decision to reunite Deckard and his daughter. And just like the original Blade Runner, a replicant disobeys his programming to save a life, thus achieving meaning and maybe even a soul. There is so much more we could say about the thematic connections between 2049 and Pale Fire, like parental loss, the need for memorial, or even just the line, "Father Time all gray and bent emerged with his uneasy dog," which sounds a lot like Deckard and his furry companion. Plus, what's up with all the water imagery? The cell imagery? There's a lot more to unpack here, so let us know what you think in the comments, and maybe we'll do an Earthling cinema or a true philosophy of. Until next time, thanks for watching. Peace.
Thanks for watching, Wisecrack. If you want to dive further into Blade Runner 2049, you should definitely hit up our friends Eric and Philip over at the New Rockstars channel. Think of a movie, show, or trailer that you've seen. Alright, you got it? Well, they've definitely analyzed it. They've got an awesome video on the soundtrack of Baby Driver that breaks down how Edgar Wright creates an action musical. They've also got some really cool videos analyzing the movie It, and breakdowns of every single episode of this past season of Game of Thrones. And if you're into all the stuff we've been making and want to help us do more, consider becoming a patron. We've got a growing library of patron-only content, including the legendary Too Hot for YouTube 8-Bit Philosophy video, podcasts on Wonder Woman and the Matrix Revolutions, a new video on the movie It, and more. We're working on more Patreon exclusives each month, like early access to upcoming videos, quick takes, and much more. So check out our Patreon page by clicking here, and don't forget to check out New Rockstars with these links here. Until next time, guys, peace.